Madam Mimsy, how are you?
She's like,
Uh,
you look a little worse for the wear. How are you doing,
worse
sir?
for the wear is not even. You're too kind. You're too kind. Remind me to buy you a drink when I'm much more presentable.
She smiles sweetly.
Did that suit ever make its way here?
She's like, you did. It's waiting in your room.
Excellent. Do you also have whether here or somewhere else, a place where I can completely freshen up?
She's like, I can have the girls draw a bath if that's what you mean. She's
Yes, please.
There's complimentary soaps and everything in there. All right.
Um, Madam Mimsy, you seem to be in the know. Do you know of any I don't know, how do you say, factions? Opposing forces? I mean, this agate here seems very segregated. I can't imagine this place being, I don't know, peaceful.
Oh, it's actually quite peaceful. The paladins, of course, you're right in that there's factions. Everybody's very class conscious here. The paladins of Aegeron, of course, work for the magistrate, and they keep the whole city safe. She's like, but they mostly stay in the upper district because the Watchers. She's like, and this is not widely known, but there is a group of people called the Watchers, and they're somewhat watchdogs, and they pretty much keep order in the lower districts. And then you have the Church of Caden Kayleen there, and they also take care of the poor and everything down here. The Paladins don't really interfere too much in the lower district as long as peace is maintained. It's kind of like a little truce that apparently they've come with. The city, the gate guards, of course, all work for the Paladins. But other than that, order is pretty much maintained, and it's fairly peaceable. There's also the mining union, and they're up in the mining district. But as far as that goes, is that what you were looking for?
Uh, Sort of. I was just wondering why the Paladins and the Watchers wouldn't get along, or anyone else for that matter.
She says anytime there's money, there's people who want it, and there's always crisis that comes from that, whether it's people thinking they're being treated unfairly to people thinking that people are lazy. She's like, you know how that goes. The Paladins try to keep the overall peace, so they pick their battles, I would assume, which is why they don't mess with the Watchers unless something major happens, and then they get involved.
Well, let me not disgust you any further with my visage. I'm going to go up and get that bath.
She's like, oh, I hadn't noticed. She's like, but yes, the girls are drawing your bath.
And that'll end it for me for now.
All right. So we'll go to Aquila.
Akila's going to be waiting for Ferranda.
Okay. And we'll go to Cyros.
So still in the back, I guess, at the moment. You'd be waiting in the Stout Orphan, Aquila, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll side up to you. Do you know where I can get a weapon, a sword?
There are many blacksmiths in the town. What are you looking for?
Just a sword.
Sword, eh? Well,
Yep.
there are many blacksmiths and agate here who might be able to help you for a decent price. You will be they make very fine steel.
Yeah, great. Point me in a direction.
All right, so I take out a small piece of I look over to the father. You have some parchment and some charcoal. I need to draw my friend a map.
And yeah, he gives you a bar napkin and a small piece of charcoal.
All right, from here you're going, and I draw the map for him.
All right. So basically, she indicates up the industrial district near the mining district there by the steel gate. There's lots of blacksmiths and things there that work the metals that they bring up.
Okay. I go find a blacksmith.
All right. So you follow the map and you're able to avoid getting lost in the industrial district. It's very people look at you, they're still soaked, but It's pretty much working class people, and it's very busy in the marketplace today. Lots of people hauling lumber back and forth, and things of that nature. You finally make it up towards find a large street filled with blacksmiths on both sides. They make pretty much anything. You find a weaponsmith, a place that sells swords, and you enter.
I look around. Swords on display.
Yep, they have a few swords on display of different kinds. There's two dwarves and a halfling there, and they kind of acknowledge that you have entered the store.
I nod at them, start looking at the swords, look for a long sword about decent size for me.
Okay. You notice that they do have several long swords. They all have agates in the pommel, different colors, so you can choose like a color of agate that you'd like.
Green.
Alright, so you find a nice creamy green agate pommeled longsword, and this is going to cost the normal price of a longsword plus 1 for the gem.
Okay, so what is the price of a longsword?
Look here real quick. Longswords are
15.
Yep.
So what was the bonus for agate?
plus 1, so 16.
Okay. I give you longsword then.
And you get it. That's very nice, and the green can deal with your eyes.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so Alistair, what would you like to do?
I hobble to the a store that sells yarn.
Yarn?
Yeah,
Alright, so you walk out in the street and you try to find a yarn store.
yeah.
You're slightly buzzed from drinking the shot of Pure Light Wounds.
I ask people if there's a yarn store.
They look at you because that's kind of like a weird thing to ask for, but yeah, they tell you.
Clothing store.
They tell you that there's a place that sells yarn in the industrial district. Actually,
Okay, I go there.
it's like a general store, and it sells, any kind of clothier type things, thread, yarn, that sort of shit.
Okay, I buy a ball of yarn.
You notice that there's a lot of cat folk in here, and they are also purring, and buying yarn, and playing with it. And there's two elderly Bastet that are running the place, and they look at you kind of strange because humans don't usually come into the yarn store. But they ask you what color you would like.
Blue.
And they ask you if you would like slick or furry, and if you would like the untangleable yarn or the raw yarn.
They surprise me.
They look at each other and they ask if you would like wool yarn or cotton yarn.
Surprise me. I just grab a random piece of yarn off the shelf and go to the counter with it.
They look quite taken aback, but they clear their throat and they tell you that yarn will be 5 gold.
I pay 5 gold.
You notice that the yarn feels quite silky, and it has little flecks of like silver sparklies in it.
Oh, this is expensive. And before I pay, I try to take another yarn that's a little more, not as luxurious.
Alright, so you put it on the counter and they tell you that will be 3 gold.
Okay, good enough.
Okay. And you walk out with it, and you notice that this one also has little flecks of sparklies in it.
I told you I took something that didn't look so expensive. But,
It's not as expensive, but you don't know. Just pick
Okay.
it off the shelf.
Never mind. Yeah.
He's helping you.
Yeah. Where can I hire hirelings?
For what?
To carry my stuff.
Well, you might be able to hire a mercenary. That would be like 250 gold at the cheapest. Or, I mean,
I mean like a squire person that just carries some stuff.
there's several like children running around, but there's no like squires for hire down here in the lower city.
Okay. Are there any like Asian restaurants?
Actually, there are in the slums down towards the Farmer's Gate. Sort of an Asian type place.
Okay.
If you get arrested, I'm not bailing you out.
I go down there and have a meal and a fortune cookie, and that's basically my day.
Okay.
You may also tell me my fortune if. Yeah.
Okay. The Asian place is called the Yipping Puppy, and you do enjoy a decent meal for 1 silver.
Okay.
And
Is it dog?
do you ask them that?
I ask.
I'm not
what
there.
it is.
Yes. They assure you that, of course, it's not. Like, how could you even ask such a thing?
And
Well,
I
there's a
didn't-
lot of cat folk in town.
I don't think he asked if it was dog. I think he just asked what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, they tell you it's.
Is this cat folk? No, okay, no. But yeah.
Oh, God.
No, I was more thinking the cat folk eat dog. Just to spite the old thing.
And your fortune in your fortune cookie says the greatest risk is not taking one.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a fortune so much as it is, 2-cent bullshit Confucius crap.
I feel a little bit better about my day now, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
my day.
we'll go back to you, Isaac. Was that all you were going to do today? Is get your clothes?
Once I'm fully cleaned up, I don the new attire,
Okay.
and I steadily, I ask Madame Mimsy on the way out, where can I find Archwolf? I believe he heads the Paladins.
So go. There's the Paladin headquarters is a large blue building up in the government district. It's like, and you are looking quite snazzy today too.
Thank you. When I get back, if I suddenly don't find bad luck and come back like I did this morning, then maybe I'll take you out on a date.
She kind of smiles and she says, "Well, we'll see."
Great, that means I have a chance now. I head out and I try to go through the Silver Gate.
Okay. The guards notice you approaching and they don't even say anything, and you walk right through.
Great, in that case I continue towards the Agate Gate.
Right. So you walk through the upper district, and there's very wealthy people walking around. There's a large park to your left, and little trickling fountains, and the air is actually a lot warmer than it was in the lower city. There's palm trees everywhere. It's very bright and delicious, and it actually smells a little like lavender, in the air. It's kind of crazy, but it's very, very nice. The streets are actually very well maintained, and there's people in fine clothes walking about and talking on park benches and things. And you go up to the Agate Gate, and the guards there stop you, and they ask how they can direct you.
I was looking to speak with Archwolf.
Ah, Arkwolf, yes. You would want the Paladin headquarters, and they point you over. And they remind you that the government district closes to the public at dusk.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time.
They nod and say you're welcome. Have a nice day.
I head over to that blue building and I start asking officials for Archwolf or Arkwolf or whatever.
All right. So you walk through there and you see a very large fountain in the center of the government district. It's about 20, 30 feet tall. It looks like it's made of marble, and a bunch of people spitting water out and everything. And then to your left you see a huge library, and you walk past that into a nicely well-maintained hedge courtyard, and there's a lightning bolt in the bricks on the ground inside the patio. And you walk in, and there's a large central area, and behind that central area, directly opposite from the front doors, is a double door, and you see the name Arkwolf over it with a lightning bolt on each side. And people tell you that that's his office.
I knock.
I hear a voice that says, "Enter."
I enter. Good afternoon, is it, or is it morning? What time of day is it?
It's afternoon, probably about 1 p.m.
Good afternoon. What is it, Mr. Sir Archwolf? Do you get knighted? Is that a thing here?
He chuckles at you. He's like, "Just Arkwolf is fine." And he's like, "It's good to see you again, Isaac. How are you doing today?"
I'm doing, I could be better. I'm not going to lie to you. I could be better.
What's wrong?
I just, got bit by something I should have gotten close to.
He's like, "Really?
I'm
Let me see."
I show him where I got bit.
He looks at it and he says, "This looks really nasty." And
And you should have seen it after it got dealt with.
you heal 9 points of damage, and he says, "You look kind of pale as well."
Yeah, I can't draw my bow like I used to. I'm not entirely sure why, but my strength's been a little zapped.
He kind of feels around the wound, and he says, "It feels almost infected." And he concentrates for a minute, and as his hand hovers over the area, you see like static kind of build up and little arcs of static like shoot between him, and you feel kind of tingly, and your cat hair stands on end, and you heal 5 points of strength damage.
You're an amazing being there.
He smiles and says, "Ageron is a friend of all in need."
Which begs the question, you warned me of Aquila the other day.
He's like, "Aquila? Don't know that name for sure."
That's a curious thing, because you sat me down on a bench, no?
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me a warning.
Ah, yes. We know that you've been to Father Flanagan's place, and we know that that's where the Watchers congregate from time to time. Father Flanagan, of course, is a good man. He watches out for the people in the city, but some others that frequent the establishment are not so on the up and up, shall we say.
Then if that's how the Watchers, if that's how you and the rest of the Paladins feel, then why let them roam freely?
He sighs and he says, our duty is to protect the entire city of Agate, and in order to do that, sometimes you have to make a deal with the devil, so to speak." And he kind of chuckles. He's like, "Well, they're not quite as bad as all that, but they do dip their hands in the cookie jar from time to time. In the interest of peace in the city as a whole, we allow some things to, shall we say, slip our notice. And in exchange, they keep the people happy and taken care of in the lower district. Of course, they spread rumors about us, and the people aren't very happy. They think that we're hiding wealth or whatever from them." He's like, "But the rule of law is just, and we uphold the law. And that's a small price to pay to keep the people taken care of in the lower city. If they would not have us, then as long as someone else would do that in our place and not cause even more problems, we are happy to allow that to happen, so long as it suits the whole city."
Well, that's probably the kindest thing I've heard an official say in a long time. I don't run into too many of you guys.
He smiles at you and he says, we are here for all the people of Agate."
In that case, thank you for your time, and again, thank you for whatever it is that you did. I'm sure it's some form of magic. I know of it, I just don't practice it too much. Could I use the library here?
He's like, "Of course, the library is free to all citizens. The government district does close at dusk, however. But before you go, I do have a favor to ask of you."
Yes.
He's like, "You may or may not have heard that there have been disturbances at the mine lately. A recent rash of kidnappings and political unrest. A lot of people are blaming the merchants and the magistrate himself. He's like, we believe that for some reason the Watchers are fomenting unrest in the city, and it's something that we really need to know for sure about what's going on. We've noticed that they've been sneaking up here. We've caught several of them in the past month. And we are interested in finding out what they're up to, if they're causing rebellion, or if we need to intervene at this time. All I need for you to do, and he walks back, he takes a painting off the wall, and there's a large safe behind it. And he puts his hand in a thing, and his hand glows briefly, and he opens the safe, and he takes out a small jade figurine. He closes the safe again and replaces the painting, and he turns to you and says, This is a device that we have had especially ensorcelled to be a scrying device. He's like, all I need for you to do is get this in the hands of one of the Watchers, so that when they take it back to their headquarters, we can listen in and find out what they're up to. He's like, it's a small statue of one of their saints that they acknowledge. You can just say that it's a gift because, whatever. I'm sure you can make something up, and they're sure to like this, and hopefully we can learn something useful.
Before I agree, and I intend on agreeing with you, the mining issue, you're certain that it's the Watchers, or you just want to find out if it's the Watchers and what their purposes for doing so is, right?
We feel that at this moment they are the prime suspect, considering that they are the ones that are providing the safety for the mines on behalf of the miners' union. And yet things are still happening. There's been a rash of kidnappings and even murders. We know that the Watchers historically have been involved in extortions. We believe that more likely than not it is them behind this, but of course we need to be sure and to gather evidence of that.
Well, okay then, I say as I hold my hand out to grab the figurine.
He places it in your hand and says, thank you so much for your service to the city of Agate, and please take this. And he hands you a small sack of coins that contains 250 gold pieces. And he tells you there'll be 250 more once the job is complete for you.
Splendid. But of course you know that something like this could take time.
He says, of course, we're patient. There's no need to hurry.
Well, all right then. Thank you again as I make my way out towards the library. And we can end it there for now and go on to some other people I don't want to hug.
All right. So he smiles and pats you on the back and gives you a little shoulder squeeze and sends you off. And so we will go to, I guess, Syros. Is there anything else you want to do after purchasing your sword?
I was going to go back to the, what was it called? Pirate in the Gin. And check on my horse.
Sure. You go to the Pirate in the Gin. You're checking on what?
My horse, which was stabled there.
Oh, your horse. Yeah. It's it's well taken care of. It's comfortable in the stables and everything. It's munching on hay. There's a young boy working in the stables at the moment. He seems to be rearranging some hay bales and things. And there's several other horses there too.
Okay.
Looks up at you and waves.
I just nod and go inside. Wait out. See who turns up.
In the inn there?
Yeah, in the Pirate in the Gym.
Alright. So you walk in, and there's several people that are decently dressed for the lower city. And there's a couple people sitting in the lounge area. It's very plush, like Victorian furniture, kind of pink and gold, a lot of stuff. The carpet is very plush, and there's a small bar on the other side where there's a young girl that's serving drinks to a couple of customers there on the stools. But it's like, one of those like little small gentleman's bar type things.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the bar and
atmosphere.
order a few drinks.
Okay. And they give you your drinks, and it's actually very well made. You haven't tasted drinks so smooth in a while. Is there anything particular you want, or just take
No,
it easy?
just
All right.
chilling.
All right. So, Alistair, you eat your meal, you find out it's beef, and you got a fortune, and you're feeling kind of good because you took a chance today, so you figure it wasn't a day wasted.
What time of day is it? What time of day is it?
It's getting to be about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, outside the restaurant, are there many people on the streets?
Yeah, I mean, the main streets are always full of people. It's like mayhem out there. There's all kinds of people selling goods from carts and
Is there loud noise?
lots of noise. Yeah, lots of conversations.
How would it be easy to cast a spell without anyone noticing it?
There's a lot of people, so the people close by you would notice it.
Okay, I go to the window of the restaurant
Yes.
and just stand by it, and I cast Hey, do I see any catfolk?
Yeah, every now and then you'll see a cat folk. It's mostly human, though.
How many people are in the bar?
You mean the restaurant?
Yeah, restaurant. I mean. Yeah.
You notice that strangely, there's no cat folk that have gone into this Chinese restaurant since you've been here.
No, how many people generally?
Probably about 20.
What? Can I go? Am I sitting in a corner booth or something?
You can be.
Okay, I just look at the window and cast drench on a random catfolk.
On a random cat folk outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So you cast drench and instantly it rains. And, the cat folk look very annoyed and looks up and yowls and everything, and people are still. You see a couple of people hold up their hands. Make a spellcraft check.
Spellcraft.
So you can tell that it's the 0 level detect magic spell that several people have started casting. They're kind of slowly turning with their hand out, trying to find the source of it.
I dodge. I duck under the window.
Yeah, one woman in particular kind of looks at the restaurant kind of intently for a minute or two, and then just kind of shrugs, and they continue walking on.
I'm laughing silently to myself. And then I continue on back to the inn.
Okay. To the Pirate and the Gin?
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way up there, and there's lots of people in the streets. As you approach, you kind of get to the center of the street, you notice there's a commotion up towards the Silver Gate. 2 of the guards they grab the man. He's like, "No, it wasn't me. I didn't do it." They're like, "Shut up. We know you did." And there's a woman who seems kind of distraught. She's from the Upper District, and she's holding one ear, and she's looking at the guard, explaining something and pointing to her other earring, and he's like, "It wasn't me, I swear it wasn't me." And he's like, "Well, can you explain this?" And he pulls out an earring out of his pocket. He's like, "No, I swear I didn't take it." And they whip his ass a little bit and then haul him off up through the Silver Gate, and 2 other guards replace them. And you hear, as you pass an alley, you hear a couple of children kind of giggling and pointing, and they look up at you and they're like, "Did you see that? He got in trouble."
How many children are they?
There's about 8 or 10 of them, just kind of grubby, just playing around.
Okay, I'm not gonna show them because I've been killed. But yeah, just continue on. I point my finger at them menacingly. Just continue on.
All right. So you get to the Pirate in the Gin. You see Madame Mimsy behind the counter, and you see Cyros kind of lounging in the bar area, drinking some drinks.
I join him.
Okay. So Cyros, you see Alistair come walking up to you and sit at the bar.
I buy a drink.
Okay. Any particular kind of drink?
I have no idea which kind he won't like, so no.
Just a random one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. So
The pinkest drink they have,
she
because he didn't like the color of the building.
I drink it with class.
She mixes up something. She pours a little bit of lemonade in it. There's a little green parasol and a couple of cherries and a chunk of pineapple on the end, and there's actually a little sparkler in it too. And she likes that, and it's very sparkling, and people like turn to stare, and they kind of go back to their conversations, and she hands it to you.